Ladies and gentlemen of New Eden, how are you doing today? My name is the Dark Lord Runner, and I'm here to talk to you about joining fraternity because there are very big pros and very many cons. So let's go over it. Alright? So, just like Pandemic Horde, I have a whole lot of lists that I have written down, and I really don't need it anymore because, I was in Bozo Ryu at the time of the whole World War B2 situation. So, without further ado, let me get into this motherfucking bitch. Alright, so, the pros. We're going to go ahead and start off with those. Number one, you have a giant area for ratting alongside a bunch of communities such as Volta, Sons of Banes, Walta as well. A bunch of Sylvanas, super mercenaries, like a whole culture that's just waiting for you. And some of the cultures speak English, some of them speak Chinese primarily. I haven't seen any German or Italian or Hebrew speaking corps. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me in the comment sections if there are communities like that. I am awaiting. Uh, so yeah, very big community, huge, huge amounts of cultures, right? In specific, you have ratting cultures, you have PvP cultures, you've got hot dropping cultures, you've got just chilling in alliance chat cultures, or you got auction cultures, moving cultures. It's a whole process. When I was in there, I saw a whole lot of just ratting. But that brings me into my next section. The second thing is the ratting area. You are mainly going to be fighting Garissa's pirates, which isn't too big of a deal. You make a decent amount of money, right? They're very easily killable because of how they're fit. And you can also run missions right next door with a few other factions. Not just Garissa pirates, but Sisters of Eve, and you are also connected to other fulfilling Destiny parts, which is fucking amazing, right? And I mean, it's not too bad. Again, it pays out like regular rats do. I'm pretty sure there are like 3 officer rats down there, maybe 4. I don't know. But anyway, sorry about that. I'm trying to deal with some ice. Number 4, or number 4. Number 3, we have the bank robbing cultures, which is just a whole bunch of groups that'll go out and they'll go bank robbing. But again, we don't really see that much, and it is another culture, nothing too big, but very interesting. The number 4 thing is that you have a lot of space that you can travel around. You have a lot of area you can set up industry in, yada yada yada. And they're very accepting of whoever or whatever you are. There's fleet ops every damn second or hour. So nothing to really complain about. There is mining ops, as far as I am concerned, which have beautiful moon ore. No one ever sees before, except if you're nullsec. And it's like a nice area of space that you can just chill in. Right? A lot of incursions, and usually they have a lot of titans on standby, so nothing to really complain about it. So, like, say you need to jump somewhere, you just take titan and go jump. Right? Which also brings me into our cons. Right? Because, the rest of the pros are just, you're living in a big alliance, you have a ton of backup, you've got a standing fleet, you have blues, yada yada. Not a lot of blues either. Just a very small amount. So now we're going to move on to the cons. So the cons are mainly just, number 1, you're called a botter a lot of times, and that's mainly just because you usually are seen consisting of ratting for a lot of times, and you are considered to be a bot by everyone for unknown fucking reasons, mainly just because they see you sitting and AFKing. But again, that's just the ratting culture. If you're out for PvP, you're out for PvP. If you don't do ratting, you don't do ratting. Now, number 2, their leadership structure is a bit wonky at the moment. So, you have a little bit of poor leadership. And what I mean by that is that their leadership is separated into, like, what is it? 5 6 sections instead of just 3 major ones. That might just be me on that part, because the way that I'm planning out my own alliance is just, it's by corporate, not by some random 6 major coalition leadership. But again, I'm not one to talk about that. Number 3 is that their doctrines that they move around in are really more omega sided than alpha sided. Now, there are alpha ones, right, that work well, right? Cormorants, ruptures, right? Megathrons with railguns, right? Those work. Apocalypses. But in overall, the doctrines that they have are mainly omegas. So, like, you may be using a Megathron, but they may have to ask you to use Tech 2 guns, which only an Omega can use. And what I would recommend for getting a lot of money is go out and do some incursions, because that's the safest bet, right? Nothing against anyone who doesn't do incursions. I'm pretty sure there's excellent ways to make money these days, especially if you're a pro PvPer. Everyone's out for blood, right? And they bring out spiky ships and shit, right? But number 4 of the cons is that you're targeted a lot, right? And I mean, this might just be for every alliance, but as you are in Frat, you are considered a huge target with the amount of money that you make. So you usually will be writing about, 50 mil a system? That's not bad at all. So honestly, not really anything super duper extravaganza, but very big target for a bunch of people. And I mean, that's all I can think of. If you guys have any other pros and cons in the comment section, please do list them. This is the Dark Lord Runner, and I will see you later.